this is Mr. Knight. This is Geometry Chapter 1.5, describing angle pair relationships. So let's look at a few vocabulary words. Complementary angles, if you remember, angle 1 plus angle 2, angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 90 degrees, so that's complementary. And then your supplementary angles, angle 1 plus angle 2 is equal to 180 degrees. And then the word adjacent means two angles that share the same endpoint and a common side. All right, so let's review complementary again. This is complementary angles, two angles, 1 and 2. The sum is equal to 90 degrees. These are what we call adjacent angles, but you can also have non-adjacent angles, okay? So don't think that they have to be adjacent angles in order to be complementary. They could actually be non-adjacent. So if I look at supplementary angles, angle 5 and angle 6, these are adjacent angles. The sum of those two angles equals 180 degrees. But here's a figure where they're non-adjacent, where the angle of 7 plus the angle of 8. They could tell you that they are supplementary angles. Therefore, I know the sum of those two angles would be 180 degrees. So let's see what's next. Find measures of a complement and supplement. All right, find measures of a complement. That means I'm looking at two angles, two more angles that equal 90 degrees. Find measures of a supplement. I know that's two or more angles that are equal, the sum is equal to 180 degrees. So let's look at A right here. Given that angle 1 is a complement of angle 2, they're telling you that the sum of those two angles equals 180 degrees. They give you angle 1, which is 68. Therefore, angle 2 would be 90 degrees minus the 68, so that would be 22 degrees. Okay, that would be 90 degrees. Now let's look at B. Given that angle 3 is a supplement of angle 4, they're telling you that the sum of those two angles is 180 degrees. They give you angle 4. They want to know the angle 3. So if angle 4 is 56, it's 180. It's 180 minus 56. So we know that the angle 60, 120, 124, 124 degrees. Okay. Let's see what's next. Describe angle pair relationships. Okay. Linear pair are two angles that are adjacent, and they the sum of their angles equals 180 degrees. Okay. Now, not all, even though something's a linear pair, does not mean that it's or I should say the question is, we talked about linear pairs, the sum of the two angles equals 180 degrees. We've talked about supplementary angles also equals 180 degrees. Now, something you should understand, that linear pairs are always supplementary angles, but not all supplementary angles are linear pairs. An example of supplementary angles that are not linear pairs is if you have three angles, because the word pair in that word right there means two. All right. So not all supplementary angles, which in this case 1, 2, and 3 are all supplementary angles, are not linear pairs. But anyway, the basic definition of linear pairs is the sum of those two angles equals 180 degrees. And then you have vertical angles. Vertical angles are created by two rays, two line segments, two lines, where opposite sides are congruent to each other. So angle 4 is congruent to angle 5. Another way to say that is the measure of angle 4 is equal to the measure of angle 5. Okay, and then 3 and 6 are also called vertical angles. All right, so now if I want to look at identifying angle pairs, so I know that 1, 2, and 3, they're not linear pairs, although they form 180 degrees. They would be supplementary pairs. Same way with 2, 3, and 5, same thing. 4 and 5 are linear pairs. The sum of those two angles equals 180 degrees. 1 and 4, all right, let's do this. So we have angle 1 and angle 4. They are linear pairs, LP. And then I have angle 4, angle 5. They are also linear pairs, all right? I know that angle 1 and angle 5 are vertical angles, VA, vertical angles. So these are vertical angles. And do I have any other vertical angles? I mean, this right here would be that, 2 and 3, the sum of 2 and 3 and 4 would be vertical angles. You'd have to add the measures of 2 and 3, and that would be a vertical pair with 4. And I think that's all that we have right there. Yeah, okay. So that kind of concludes 1.5, describing angle pair relationships. Have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow.